Hello kiddos, today we're going to be talking about graphing using intercepts, and our goal of the lesson is to graph a linear equation using intercepts. So our x-intercept is the x-coordinate of a point where graph crosses the x-axis, while our y-intercept is the y-coordinate of a point where graph crosses the y-axis. So if you're given a problem 8x minus 2y equals 32, you're going to start by substituting 0 for y and solving for x. So I have 8x minus 2y equals 32. And remember, we have to show our step-by-step work in order for Ms. Zaluska to give us full credit. So you have 8x minus 2, parentheses 0, equals 32, which means we get 8x equals 32 and x equals 4. And kind of going back to what I said in terms of the vocab, is it our x-coordinate or our y-coordinate that should give us an x equals? Very good. It's our x-intercept that should give us an x equals. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and substitute 0 for x. 8 times 0 minus 2y equals 32. Negative 2y equals 32, so y equals negative 16. We have our x-intercept with an x equals, and we have our y-intercept with a y equals. So the x-intercept is 4. That's where it's going to cross the x-axis at 4. Our y-intercept is negative 16. That's where it's going to cross the y-axis all the way down here somewhere at negative 16. And then I would connect with arrows on both sides. This is very important and something I take off every year for. People forget those arrows on both sides. Please don't be that person. All right, so pause this video and go ahead and do number 1 and 2. Very good. You should have that the x-intercept, and you want to make sure those are labeled. So if you just have x equals, it's not enough information. You want to make sure you have x-intercept. So, and then x equals 9. And then for your y-intercept, you're going to have y equals 6. But I want you to kind of start thinking about how would that look on the graph, right? The x-intercept crosses the x-axis at 9. So what's 0 there? The y is 0, right? We plugged in y equals 0. I'm going to expect you in the future to write your answer as a coordinate like this. So the x-intercept at x equals 9, because that's more of an equation. You want it as more of a coordinate. So we solved it with x equals 9, but our answer I want as 9, 0. The y-intercept is y equals 6 we found. So then our final answer as a coordinate would be 0, 6. And of course, box or circle your answer. For number 2, we found that the x-intercept happened to be at negative 3. The x-intercept is at negative 3, so I'm going to write it as negative 3, 0. The y-intercept was at negative 9, so I'm going to write it as 0, negative 9. All right, so now let's go ahead and practice graphing those. So graph 3.5x plus 2y equals 14. Label the points where the line crosses the x-axis. So on the homework where you get these problems, you're going to have to find the x-intercept, the y-intercept, label that those are your intercepts, and then use those to graph with, of course, having arrows on both sides. So I'm going to plug in 0 for y. I'm going to plug in 0 for x. When I plug in 0 for y, I get 3.5x equals 14. So I have to take 14 and divide 3.5. We don't need a calculator for that, right? You just multiply the top by 10 by moving the decimal place once, and multiply the bottom by 10 by moving the decimal place once, and then simplify 140 divided by 35 on your own, which happens to be at 4. Here we get 2y equals 14, so I take 14 divided by 2, and I am at 7. So that means the x-intercept is at the point 4, 0. The y-intercept is at the point 0, 7. And again, you're going to have to note this for every single problem on your homework. Make sure you don't forget that part. Here we're at 4, 0. Here we're at 0, 7. You want to use a straight line, or as Miss Neely likes to call, your very expensive tool. So you can grab an index card if you don't have a ruler and make sure you have arrows on both sides. Beautiful. Identify the x-intercept and y-intercept of this graph. So that means where does it cross the y-axis? Where does it cross the x-axis? Remember, the x-axis is this one right here that is going left and right. Oh, it looks like that's glitching. Okay, well, oh, the joys of technology. So this is your x-axis, right? So you're gonna see where it hits this x-axis. It hits that x-axis at -2, but I want that as a coordinate. And if it hits the x-axis, we have the x-coordinate in -2, 0, and we're gonna note that's the x-intercept. You can only write INT, that's fine. You don't have to write out the word if you don't want to. I'm not gonna be crazy if you don't write out the whole word. And then here, the x is 0 and the y is 2. So our x-intercept was at -2. Our y-intercept was at +2. And of course, I wrote my answer as a coordinate. So please pause this video and do 3 and 4 on your own. Very good. So here we have graph 2x minus 7y equals 14. We're going to plug in x equals 0. We're going to plug in y equals 0. So 2 times 0, because we don't skip steps. If we skip steps, we're going to forget negatives. We end up getting y equals -2. So I'm at 0, -2. And I can't tell you how many people get a +2 here just because they refuse to write out that first step. Again, I've been doing this for so many years. I know exactly where people make mistakes. And every year people are like, no, Ms. Aluska, I don't need to do that. Trust me, you need to do that. And here you get 7, so I'm at 7, 0. So 7, 0, 0, -2, straight line, arrows both sides. And then here, x-intercept and y-intercept. So my x-intercept looks like it's at 1, 0. Again, I need it as a coordinate. And my y-intercept is at 0, 3.